Hey, welcome back to my channel, Cookies, Cookies, and More Cookies. And I'm Susan, your bacon buddy. So today we're going to do something a little different. We're not making a cookie. We are actually making a cake. And the reason this cake is so special is it doesn't need eggs, it doesn't need milk, and it doesn't need butter. It is called a chocolate depression cake. It is delish and so simple to make. One of the reasons I like this cake is because it makes just a small amount, perfect for me or maybe two people. It doesn't need a whole lot, and it's really simple, easy to make. So let me show you how quick and easy this is to make. And I also made the frosting. Now you can buy a can of frosting if you like, or don't frost it at all. Just maybe sprinkle some powdered sugar on top, or just eat it like that. But I did make the frosting, and I'm going to show you how to make that too. So let's get baking. We're going to start by taking our 1.5 cup of flour, and we're going to add our baking soda and salt to that, and just stirring that up a little bit. Now you can also measure these ingredients right into the container. For me, it's just a little easier if I measure everything first and get it all out, so I'm not forgetting something. And then what we're going to do is just going to put this right in here. What's nice about this is you don't have to use another mixing bowl. So put your cocoa in, put your sugar in. Okay, now we're going to mix that all up. Okay, once you get it all mixed up, you're going to make 3 little like divots in here. So you're going to make one big one in the center, a little one over here, and another one over here. Okay. Now we'll take our vanilla extract and put it in one. We're going to take our vinegar. I'm just using distilled white vinegar. You want to make sure it's white, not the apple cinnamon vinegar. And you're going to do one in there. Pour your oil right in the middle. You're going to take your 1 cup of water and you're going to pour it all over. Okay, and now we're going to mix this. Now that this is all mixed, we're going to put it in the oven, 350-degree preheated oven for about 35 minutes. Make this frosting, we're going to start with a cup of softened butter, and we are using our whisk attachment. Okay, so our butter is whipped up a little bit, and now what we're going to do, I love these guards, but boy, they're a pain in the neck sometimes. We are going to sift our coconut, we're going to sift our cocoa powder into the butter. We want to make sure this frosting is as smooth as can be. So we're going to be sifting this as well as our powdered sugar. So just use a sifter. And you can see how many lumps are in the powdered sugar or the coconut powder. Now you can always press these down, but there. Now I've used my full amount. Okay, now we're going to add our vanilla extract. And we're going to do the same. This is 5 cups of powdered sugar. I want to make sure I'm hitting the 5 cups, so I'm going to remeasure this and sift it. Okay, now that I have the 5 cups of powdered sugar in there, the cocoa and the butter, as well as the lemon extract, I am going to add milk, just a tablespoon at a time, just because it does not take a whole lot of milk to change the consistency of this mixture. So I don't want to put too much liquid in it, and then I have to add more powdered sugar. So I'm just trying to get it to a consistency where I want it. It's getting there, but I'm going to still need a little bit more milk. So I'm going to add in another cup, another tablespoon of milk, and see how that does. That's looking pretty good. So I'm going to give it a, I'm going to put in one more. I may regret that, but I'm also going to scrape the sides here. It is pretty thick, so I think one more tablespoon there will help this. I'm going to put in one more. All right, I think that looks pretty good. What do you think? It is thick. It is definitely thick. Okay, once I took it off of the mixer and looked at the consistency, I put it back on the mixer and added about another 3 tablespoons of milk. And I think now I'm finally at the consistency I want it. I don't want it super thick because it'll tear the cake apart, but I also don't want it runny. So I think this is a pretty good consistency for what I'm using it for. You just have to use a variance, use your own discretion on like how much milk you're going to put in. This recipe will cover 24 cupcakes and a 8-inch, 9-inch round cake. So we're going to use it on a square cake and see how it goes. So this is our depression cake, 9 by 9, and we're going to just throw some icing on here. Now see that run, that is nice and smooth. It's not tearing up my cake, and it'll move around pretty good. So that icing is pretty good. And you always want to make sure your cake is nice and cool before you attempt to ice it. Now, I'm not doing any kind of a fancy icing here, that's for sure. But this is not a type of icing nor cake that you would do anything fancy. This is just regular old after dinner cake, or maybe coffee cake, or time for lunch cake, or time for tea cake. You have some friends over. This is a great one to throw together real quick if you have friends that'll call up and say, hey, we're coming over. Now you have something real quick and easy to serve. So there you go. That is the depression cake and the icing, the frosting. So who would have thought? A cake without eggs, milk, or butter. And look how springy that is. That came out really nice. And that frosting. It did take a little work to do that frosting, but we got it to the right consistency, and it looks great on here. And I'll tell you what. This is really good. That says a lot coming from a girl who doesn't really care for chocolate. But chocolate cake and chocolate icing, I do like. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you do, how about a like, a share, and support my channel so I can continue to bring you more recipes like this. This recipe, along with the icing recipe, the full printable recipe is on my website, cookiesandmorecookies.com. And I'll put the link in the description below. But let's bake, create, and celebrate. Until next time. Now I need a glass of milk to go with this cake. This is really good. I'm glad I don't have to share it with anybody because I'll be eating the whole thing.